Good evening, everyone. Today is the 13th of April. Oh my gosh, 13th of April. I can't believe it. I will be officially in quarantine for 1 month, day after tomorrow. And it's been an exciting, invigorating, saddening, happy time. It has been a roller coaster, I have to say. And I have to say that the one great thing that happens every Monday is that I'm able to get on with all of you and talk to you and just be able to see your faces, and also to have a sense that we're all together in this. And I think that's a really good thing. So today we're going to be talking about Easter. We're going to be talking about internal usage. We're going to be talking about cooking with essential oils, because I think we have talked a lot about diffuse, but there really is value, especially now when you're trying to keep your health on an even keel, using your essential oils internally. Here's the other thing that I want to mention to you, and this may seem a little bit personal, but I think it's important. If you are a smoker, if you are a vapor, if you have underlying health conditions, I want you to really consider, what are the things that I can do right now to improve my health? So if you're a smoker or a vapor, this is the time for you to really begin to think and to dig deep into your soul. Can I stop? Is this the time for me to stop? Or can I at least lessen the amount of exposure that I have? Do you have someone in your home who is a smoker or a vapor? We know that these things can put a lot of stress on our lungs. And right now we have to keep our lungs as strong as possible. So I'm going to start the presentation, and I want you to, as you're listening to it, to kind of think, okay, what can I do that's going to help me with this, what's going on with this pandemic, to really help my family. And you know that I usually talk to you about essential oil support, but I have also reached out in the last couple of weeks to start talking to you about financial support. And I'm going to be doing a whole separate presentation actually about financial support and personal finances, because I think it's that important. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen with you. Whoops, my screen, hold on. You'd think after all these years doing this, I would get it perfect every time, but sometimes I don't. And I don't know what, I have a mental blip. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if I can get there we go. There's my face, so that you can keep track of me. You can know that I'm not scratching my nose. So today we are celebrating with essential oils. And I love to celebrate with essential oils because I think it's an important thing for us to do. I also, why is this? I don't want it to go that fast. Today's presentation, let me go back. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. Okay, now we're on the right track. Okay, so first of all, as always, thank you to our Presidential Diamond team. This is our amazing set of leaders and all of you that get on all the time, every week, to learn and to guide and to share with others and to become just more educated, because the more educated we are, the more able we are to pass information on to others. We don't want to stay in the dark. We want to make sure that we're getting the right information and that we're passing it on to others in a kind way, in a way that can actually help them. We want to be supporting others. We want to be stepping out in leadership. I want to believe that when all this is done, that your reputation really has been built and that you've been seen as a person who is courageous, a person who is a leader, and someone who has kept a steady head. Doesn't mean you never had an emotion, doesn't mean you were never sad or anxious during this time, but it means that you've been dealing with those emotions and trying to keep a calm presence. And as you talk to other people who may not be as calm as you, who may be feeling actually very troubled at this time, may actually been going through some crises that they did not expect, that you're able to become a strength for them. Maybe not a shoulder for them to cry on, perhaps, if that's not your role, but to be able to lead them and to guide them. And whether that's the members of your own family or people in your circle, I just want to say thank you to all of you who are leading in this time. So we're celebrating with essential oils because honestly, we need whatever celebrations we can get. And for those of you who celebrated a big holiday yesterday, or if you are Jewish and you celebrated Passover or any other holiday within the last few weeks, I just want to welcome you and tell you that this is one of the ways that I was celebrating, but also to give you some concrete information that you're going to be able to use. Okay, the ideas expressed today are essentially from the book, Essential Oils Healthcare for Today. But today I also took a big slice from Cooking with Essential Oils, which is the ebook that doTERRA has online. And you can see the link there, doTERRA.com/USEN class Cooking with Essential Oils. And you can take a screenshot of that really quickly if you'd like to look it up later. There's a lot of terrific information there. I borrowed liberally from this presentation, and I think you'll see that there's some great information there. Okay, so my favorite Easter recipes, so that's really the basis of this, and if you got the text message in the WhatsApp chat group, you saw that it said a lot about recipes featuring doTERRA essential oils, but the underlying topic is really why cook with essential oils at all? Why don't we just use regular foods? What's the benefit of using essential oils? And the underlying question to that is, why are we taking essential oils internally? So that's our 1-2 punch. Okay, so why cook with essential oils? Number one is that they add flavor, or they can add flavor to our food, that there are internal use benefits. And I want you to keep that in mind for a second, because when I show the next slide, we're going to talk a lot about internal use benefits. They are safe, natural ingredients and convenience. And right now, when we cannot get out, we can't get to our stores, or we don't want to go there as much as we did in the past, convenience is actually a big reason for us to begin to dig deeply into our essential oil baskets, cabinets, cases, and dig out all those edible essential oils so that we can begin to use them on a regular basis. So of the 4 essential oils that are shown here, I use them all the time and interchangeably. So my absolute favorite every morning is grapefruit, as you know, and I take 2 drops of grapefruit under the tongue every morning. But I have been known to take lime or wild orange or lemon if I don't have that available. And I use all of my citrus oils, my tangerine that I just got as a free gift, or my clementine, whatever I happen to have around, under my tongue, and I use them internally a lot, and of course in my water. So let's talk about essential oils internally. So typically 1 drop of essential oils is equivalent to 2 teaspoons of dried herbs. So you want to dip a toothpick into the bottle and stir into your ingredients until you reach the desired flavor. We don't want to overload our cooking with essential oils because they tend to be very strong, much stronger than fresh herbs. So you know that, and you may have heard this before, for my cooks out there, bear with me because you're probably thinking, I already knew that. But whenever you are substituting dried herbs, so those are the ones that come in the bottle from your supermarket, for fresh herbs, you want to actually half the quantity. So for example, last night I was making a sauce and I wanted to add some tarragon, and supermarkets are sold out of tarragon, and it's still the end of winter here, so my tarragon hasn't grown in my garden yet. So the amount of tarragon that was needed was 2 tablespoons. So instead of using 2 tablespoons of fresh, I use 1 tablespoon of dried. And I have to say, because the dried ingredients were going to be moistened with some other liquids as part of a salad, it worked out just perfectly. I used 1 tablespoon of dry, and that's always the calculation. When you're substituting dry for fresh, you want half the quantity. Now, when you're going to go to essential oils, right? So if I was going to use that same example, 3 teaspoons equal 1 tablespoon. So I probably use about 1.5 drops, depending on what it was. I'd probably start with a drop because it's hard to get a half a drop If it was something strong like basil or oregano or thyme, I would be very conscious and start with the toothpick method. But if I was using an essential oil like a citrus oil, like the ones I just showed in the last slide, I would probably start immediately with 1 drop and then maybe go on to 2 drops to really get that flavor. So they can be a normal part. Essential oils, of course, are a normal part of our diet, and the human body is well equipped to handle essential oils and to digest them. They're found in obviously a lot of the products and foods that we already eat. Food and Drug Administration generally recognizes them as safe, which is the GRAS designation, GRAS. And that list affirms the safe use of essential oils as flavoring agents and preservatives. So now let's talk about some of the best ones that you want to be thinking about now. So essential oils for the nervous system. So many of you may be feeling upset, anxious, worried, consciously just that sort of a tense feeling. I want you to look at this list, and there's a lot of them. And please take a screenshot of this so you can use it later. Things like basil, bergamot, black pepper, cilantro, clove, coriander, and on and on. You can see the list is really large. These are terrific oils for the nervous system. Trying to calm down, you're trying to just feel a little bit, and interestingly enough, there's serenity on here. I would not put serenity on there for an edible essential oil. So that's one, I'm not sure why that's on there. So now essential oils for healthy respiratory function. Black pepper, clove, unless you were using the serenity gel caps, of course. Essential oils for healthy respiratory function, clove, coriander, fennel, juniper berry, melaleuca, thyme, and xendocrine. Now, I will mention to you that originally our tea tree oil was called melaleuca, and now it is called tea tree. There's been a lot of discussion as to whether the new tea tree is can be ingested. We do know that our toothpastes and some of our other internally ingested items do have tea tree in them. So I would use that with caution, but I would use all of the other oils for healthy respiratory function. And then when we talk about metabolism, you may be staying at home more. You may not be eating as healthily as you usually do. You may feel like you're eating too much. It's harder to get exercise on a regular basis unless you're extremely diligent. Or you live in a place like I do where you can get out and walk every day, but you may not be able to walk because of government restrictions or the restrictions in your town or city. So consider using your bergamot, your black pepper, your cassia, clove, fennel, grapefruit, and so on. And then finally, essential oils for healthy gastrointestinal tract. Now, if you're not digesting your food properly because you are eating foods perhaps that you're not accustomed to, or maybe you're eating too much, or you're eating at strange times of the day. Maybe you're not getting enough fresh fruits and vegetables because they're just not available. These are some of the essential oils that you want to consider. At the bottom there, you can see is the PB Assist Junior, your DigestZen, your Terrazyme, and your Thyme. And again, I'm pointing out to you, tea tree is on there, but we want to make sure that we are not using the current tea tree. As you could use it as a mouthwash, but I don't want you to be ingesting it. So just be careful. So some of these, you can use your products that contain your melaleuca, but right now I wouldn't be ingesting your melaleuca. But things like basil, cardamom, cassia, cinnamon, all excellent for your digestive and gastrointestinal tract. Okay, is cooking with essential oils safe? So there's definitely a long history of historical use. They are part of our diet already. They're used in manufacturing of many different products, and high quality, well-tested essential oils are safe to consume. Things we should never consume, right, are arborvitae, cedarwood, cypress, Douglas fir, eucalyptus, and I mean the new one. Actually, eucalyptus always, spikenard, white fir, and wintergreen. And white fir isn't being sold anymore, but I know a couple of you have some bottles left. I even have, I think, one bottle myself, but just keep it in mind, these are not to be ingested. Also, things to remember: essential oils and heat, they will deteriorate with if they're used in a very hot situation. What type of cookware, and then a few measuring tips. And we're going to go through this fairly quickly. So essential oils and heat. If possible, add the essential oil at the end of the cooking process, as the oils will evaporate with heat. And we know that already. You may actually have the flavoring in the cooking if it's warm, if the oils are heated very high, but the health benefits will actually dissipate with heating. So I've used ginger oil and lemongrass in some of my stir fries, but at the end, because it's cooked at a very high heat, maybe in a wok or some sort of a frying pan where everything's being stirred up quickly, I have to admit, I probably don't have a lot of essential oil health benefits in there. I have flavoring, but not health benefits. Okay, when we talk about cookware, we want to avoid using plastic cookware, as essential oils can potentially ruin certain kinds of plastic. But the more important thing is not so much the ruining, but as the plastic deteriorates, small particles of the plastic and some of the chemical compounds can actually deposit themselves in, on, or around our food. And we don't want to eat plastic, right? So essential oils can deteriorate plastic. So ruining your cookware, okay, yes, is that important? We don't want to just be ruining things. But the other thing that happens is that it can basically cause us to ingest plastic, and that's really bad. You want to try using glass, ceramic, or stainless steel. Okay, let's talk a little bit about measurements. And you can see this photograph here, dipping a toothpick into a bottle of essential oil. Super potent essential oils include things like basil, cassia, clove, cumin, oregano, and thyme. I would start as small as possible and work my way up. You don't want to ruin a beautiful salad. You can see this lovely salad if you're preparing some sort of a salad dressing and you put in too much. All the ingredients have to be tossed, or you have to just keep adding and adding and adding, and that can be extremely wasteful. You probably don't need something quite that big. Okay, so here's a flavor guide for cooking with essential oils. I have to say, I think I've used all of these essential oils in my cooking in one way or another, whether it's been in beverages or baked goods, the ones that are shown here on the left. So I like citrus essential oils in beverages, yogurts, dips, and salsas as a substitute for zest, essential oil zest, or citrus zest in cakes and cookies, spices. So you've got your vegetables, meats, and sweet and savory dishes, herbs that are terrific in marinades or soups, your floral essential oils. So don't discount the use of your essential oils. Things like lavender can be used in desserts, teas, and baked goods, or bergamot, which is very floral. And then finally, your mint or your mints in beverages, desserts, salads, and certain meats. I'm actually going to take a sip of, this is actually iced coffee. I know it looks crazy, and I'm sure that some of you have seen me drink this think, what is she drinking? So now you know it's iced coffee. I have my water here too, so I'm not just drinking that, but coffee gives me a little bit of a pick-me-up as I'm talking. So yesterday was Easter Sunday, and honestly, one of the oddest Holy Weeks and Easter Sundays that I've ever experienced in my entire life. I don't want to say that it was bad, because it wasn't necessarily bad, but it was definitely different. So I live on about 20 minutes from New York City. There were no Palm Sunday, Holy Thursday, or Easter Vigil services in my hometown church that I would usually have with my family and friends. And many of you know that my church actually burned down right before Christmas, which was really sad. So even if we were having services, we would have been having them in our school auditorium, but that would have been a nice way to gather with my community. Okay, everyone is at home. My kids are both home. My husband's here. We tried to set a beautiful Easter table yesterday so that we would have that sense of celebration. My daughter and I cooked all morning. Everyone's helping. Having something special to dress up for and sit down to at our Easter meal made everything seem a little bit more normal. So we did set a beautiful, elegant table. We put out all our best china. We got dressed up. We watched our church services on television, and we gathered as best we could. And on my next slide, I'm actually going to show you 2 actual photos from my table. If you want to see some more photos from my table, go to Instagram, Elena Jordan, or Facebook. I'll be posting more about my actual table today. So here's 2 quick photos. I had the little flocked bunnies on the left and the chicks with some little, you can see the little chocolates inside. And then I had place cards for everyone at the table. That's my place card. And that place card actually is pretty big. It's about, I want to say it's almost the size of my head, which sounds crazy, but just a cute little thing. And I wanted everybody to have something special on that day. If you look behind the blue bunny, you can see a cone. In the cone were sort of chocolates and candies and some cookies and things. So everybody got their own little goodie. I did the best I could ordering online and trying to get a few things delivered. I didn't think that I would get everything, but I was super grateful that things came, and we were able to set a really pretty table for everybody. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the traditions in my family. So some of you may know that my husband and I are Spanish. My husband is 100%, and he was born in Puerto Rico, but raised in a Spanish-speaking household. And my mom is Spanish. I was raised here in the United States, but my dad was Polish, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason, we always eat Polish food at Easter. I think it's maybe an homage to my dad, but that's what we always do. We eat Spanish food or alternate Spanish food on other holidays, but Easter is always Polish. So I'm going to give you a couple of recipes from my background. So because our food history is quite mixed, I like to focus on the things that are seasonal and that I can easily make. And especially yesterday, where we had limited ingredients and we were trying to get everything together quickly, and it was just my daughter and I in the kitchen. Sometimes I have a helper that'll come in to do something if we're having a bigger crowd, but it was just the 5 of us, which was kind of nice. But even so, it took us forever. And at one point, my daughter said, okay, I'm going to confess something. I am a messy cook. So I'm a really good cook, but I am also a messy cook. So when I cook, everything goes all over the kitchen. And then what I do at the end is clean everything up. And my daughter is not a messy cook. She's sort of one of these cook and clean cooks, which is not me. And about halfway through, she said, "Oh my gosh, this kitchen is giving me anxiety." And so we went through and we kind of cleaned up, and my husband came in and pitched in, and my son was doing the heavy lifting, getting the machines out. We had our mixers and all kinds of things out so we can get everything done quickly and ready for dinner. Okay, so here are 3 of the dishes that were included in my Easter Sunday brunch, all included essential oils. For those of you who are interested, they could easily be left out if you're trying to just pass this recipe on to someone else, or you don't have that oil on hand, you can substitute something else. And actually, we didn't wind up having brunch. I made this presentation earlier, and we didn't eat till almost 4 o'clock because I couldn't get the food on the table, which is so crazy. So when you first read the ingredient list of the next salad, you may be a little bit turned off and think, what? But I want you to just think of the cliche, don't knock it till you try it, because it really is amazing. And we usually make it the night before and leave it to rest overnight in the fridge to eat chilled in the morning on toast or with cured meats. That's what Polish people eat. I don't know what to tell you. It's part of my history, my tradition. So you're going to take a bag of frozen carrots and peas, 1 boiled steamed potato, 2 hard-boiled eggs, an apple, dill pickles, yes, mayonnaise, lemon, and a drop of doTERRA lemon essential oil. You could substitute a half a teaspoon of grated lemon peel and salt and pepper. I know it sounds a little crazy, right? But it really is good. And you're going to dice everything into small equal pieces, add it to a large bowl, add the mayonnaise, and basically you're making a dressing, stir it all up, and then adjust ingredients to taste, cover, and leave to chill. So it needs some time to chill so the flavors kind of mold together. And I have to say, I've added things like capers and all different sorts of other fresh herbs in the past. Yesterday, I did that as well. I had some fresh chives from my garden. I had fresh parsley. I added that in, but this is the basic ingredient. It's one of those salads that, I don't know, a little bit of extra always tastes good. Okay, the other thing we do is we make something that's called babka. And I remember eating babka as a kid and just being thrilled to death. This is babka piaskowa, and I don't know if you know this, but in Polish, the W is pronounced like a V. So my maiden name is spelled Ostrowski, but it's pronounced Ostrowska. And yes, that's the female version of Ostrowski, but I'm a lady, so I would be Ostrowska. So this is a little cake that we would produce. Babka's a big deal in my house, and usually I wouldn't make my own because we have a wonderful Polish bakery right near us, but I couldn't get there. So it's okay. So we make this one. It's called Sandy Bunt, but it's really just Poland's version of a bundt cake. And the reason it has this name, though, is because when you first make it, it's super moist, but it gets really dry and crumbly after about a day or two. But then it's really good for dipping in coffee or warm milk, right? So that kind of milky coffee that everybody loves. I'm not going to read out all the ingredients. You can take a photograph of this if you want. You can look online for a babka recipe, but this is just something that I was doing. And yes, I added in my lemon essential oil. I could have added orange. Sometimes people add in chopped fruits. They'll swirl in chocolate. I didn't do any of that. I just kind of made an easy one. And then you're kind of whisking everything together until it's fluffy. You're slowly melting the butter and letting it all kind of come together. But please look up a really good recipe. If you want this recipe, it'll be posted in the comments. I'm sorry, not in the comments, but it'll posted on the Facebook, and it'll be in the blog. So you can find it in the blog. And for those of you who don't know, you can go to ElaineJordan.com, and the blog usually actually matches or mirrors in some way whatever we're doing on the weekly call. Here's the other thing. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you go to the blog this week, we actually have a gift for you. So if you go there and you give us your email address, you will get a little gift. I won't tell you what the gift is. It'll be sent to you electronically. Okay, so last but not least, my favorite vegetable is asparagus. I make this crazy asparagus, this hollandaise sauce that everybody, I'm sure all my chefs out there will go, oh my gosh, that's the craziest recipe I've ever heard, but it really works. So hollandaise sauce is more French than German, but asparagus is in season right now. And this is such an amazing recipe. And I made it last night. And every time I taste it, I think, wow, why would I make it any other way? Okay, so I'm going to give you the regular recipe first, and then I'm going to give you, I have a vegan version. So you need a pound of asparagus, olive oil, salt, black pepper. And the non-vegan version is a large egg yolk, lemon juice, cayenne pepper, butter, kosher salt, and then a drop of lemon essential oil. And the vegan version is cashew butter, warm water, mustard, garlic powder, turmeric, lemon, cayenne, and lemon essential oil. And for those of you who are looking for a vegan version, take a screenshot of this because this is a hard recipe to find. It will be on the blog, but it's not an easy recipe to find. Okay, and what do? I basically bake the asparagus. And then I throw everything in the blender. I know it sounds crazy, but I add the egg yolk, the lemon, and then I melt the butter until it's super hot. And then I slowly pour it into the blender, and that's what cooks the eggs. Now, are they super cooked? No. And if you are immune compromised or you're pregnant, this is going to be a recipe that has very lightly cooked eggs, almost like soft boiled. So you may not want to do this exactly this way. You could take it off the heat and then really stir it and make sure it's totally cooked. But I have to tell you, it comes out completely smooth, absolutely beautiful, doesn't separate, and none of this kind of turning into scrambled eggs, which was always my dilemma in the past when I made hollandaise sauce. Okay, I know I've talked a lot about recipes. Whew. So I know that celebrating Easter in this non-traditional, unprecedented way may have been a little bit scary or frustrating, and I want you to know that I feel for you and your family. There were several moments yesterday that I really had to stop and pause. We always bless our table before we sit down and eat, and we blessed not only just all of you, but for everyone who couldn't be with their family at this time. We've had some sad news in the last couple of days. Friends that have been either hospitalized. We've actually had one friend from church that passed away from COVID-19. And we are trying as best we can to make it through this crisis and to be step up in leadership. I've asked my kids to do it. I've asked my husband to do it. Even my mom, who's 90, is in her own way trying to step out in leadership. She is basically writing cards to all her friends and family members to tell them, and sending prayer cards and things to them. We are supporting our community as much as we can. I hope you take this opportunity to look at these recipes and maybe try something new, and maybe to learn a new tradition that brings a smile to your face. I have to say, cooking the same recipes this year was actually very comforting. It was going back to something that I already knew, and that connects us with our ancestors and with the people that came before us who struggled and had difficulties. And I think that was, for me at least, it was a good decision to make. I want to leave you with a couple of different tips for essential oils that you can use in different ways. So here's some marinades, and you can take screenshots. Here's baked goods, and like I said, all of this is going to be either on the blog, or it's on the doTERRA website that I already shared with you the link. Some essential oils for soups and sauces. 2 ways to kind of flavor sugars or salts. So you can flavor your sugar or your salt, and then you can use that for extra flavoring, especially now. We may not be able to find the flavorings that we need, but we have things that are available to us. And finally, as usual, I'm going to leave you with a diffused recipe called Easter Morning. And really today is Easter Monday, so I'm still celebrating. I'm going to be celebrating for a while. 4 drops of tangerine, 3 drops of cedarwood, 1 drop of ginger, and 1 drop of patchouli. Your health and well-being. My husband's actually smiling at me through my door. I don't know if you know this, but my office has a glass door, and sometimes my family will actually come up to the door. Sometimes they wave at me. Sometimes my husband will actually blow me a kiss, which is really sweet. We're together a long time, so it's nice that he's still blowing kisses at me. Or sometimes my kids will go out there and go something like this, Mom, which is my symbol to say, how can I help you? Sorry. But it's just nice to know that I can always kind of glance out there and see support from my family. So your health and well-being is in my heart and in my prayers. Please know that as I go about my daily work and that the things that I do, I'm keeping you all in prayer, and I'm thinking about you. If you're not able to reach out to someone, please reach out to me either through social media. You can find me just about everywhere. You can send me a message. You can respond to the email that you got to get onto this call. Don't feel like you're alone. Even if you're in a place where you are physically alone, there are ways that you can connect with other people and feel like you're part of a community. And certainly you're part of this community, which is a wonderful thing. If you're listening to this, I hope you will take a look at our other social media sites. They are a way for us to stay connected on a regular basis, and I'm trying to post as much as possible, whether it's live posts or recordings, so that you can get more information, you can feel like you're part of a community. And I want to talk to all of you at the end of this, and let's see what's going on. Of course, I have some prizes that I'm going to award. Remember, you are amazing. I'm so happy that you are here today, part of this group, and also listening in. For those of you who are going to listen to the recording, please consider subscribing below, and watch our YouTube channel for regular postings. And finally, thank you for being here, and have a wonderful week. Oops. See if we can close this. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take myself off spotlight. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the chat. I want to see what the chat says. First, a lot of people saying hi, they can hear me. Okay, so good question. Siska says eucalyptus should not be ingested, but there is an On Guard blend and we take On Guard internally. Can you please advise? Yes, that the eucalyptus that's in the On Guard blend is a different genus, a different species than the eucalyptus that's in our bottles. And that's why we can ingest that eucalyptus. Thank you for asking that question, Siska. That's a great question. Okay. Oh, a lot of you liked my tables. You said it was cute or beautiful. Thank you, everyone. And like I said, I'll be posting more pictures of that. Danielle says, sorry to hear about your friends. Thank you. Thank you. It was, I have to say, it was really a big shock. Andrew Tan says he likes my hair. Thank you. I actually brushed my hair for today. It's so crazy because you're home all the time. We don't brush our hair. I brush my teeth because I'm living with other people, but I've been let my hair go crazy. And today I just said, no, this has to stop. I got to brush my hair for today. Wellness Flume, what can we use in place of tea tree? Interesting. Flume is frankincense, lemon, oregano, On Guard. And is it Melaleuca, everybody? No, Teresa's shaking her head. Type in the chat, Quinny or anybody, what are you using in your Flume blend? Type in the chat, what are you using in your Flume blend? Okay. Carol says, you guys are amazing too. Thank you, Carol. Hannah says, let's pull through this safely and healthy together. Absolutely. Teresa says, I generally say we don't ingest trees, so we won't take tree oils internally. Great reminder. That's a great way of thinking of it. Mabel says, happy Easter and stay safe, say care. I know, Carol, no kidding. None of us are brushing our hair. What is going on? It's crazy. The hairbrush manufacturers must be dying. I have to say, I am shampooing my head, but I'm not doing like the whole big thing and like, I don't know, blow drying and everything. Okay, so here we go. Let's get some recommendations. So frankincense, lemon, On Guard, oregano, and tea tree. Yes, okay. And yes. So I have to say that final tea tree, I'm questioning it at this point. You could leave it out. If you have a bottle of an old one, you could put it in. You could also eliminate Melaleuca and add in lavender. That would be a wonderful thing. The other thing you could put in is Zendocrine. If you have that blend, put a drop of that, which would be great lung support and also a terrific detoxifier. But if you have any questions about the tea tree, I would leave it out for now. So some of you are using the older one. Some of you are using the newer one. Do not add arborvitae to that blend. No, don't do that. So you could use Floo, F-L-O-O, and just leave off the last M, or you could add in something else that's going to support you. Okay. Yes. No, that's true. Siberian fir can be taken internally. So you could replace it with, that's a great recommendation, Siberian fir. Siberian fir, there was a long presentation done, I think 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I guess it's 2 conventions ago when Siberian fir originally came out, and we were told that, yes, one of the reasons we were getting Siberian fir was because it was, it can be taken internally, and white fir, which it was substituting for, was being what it was replacing, could not be taken internally. So yes, you could put Siberian fir in there. That's a great suggestion. Okay. I'm picking I know I've had you on for a long time. We're going to be talking, as I said to you, about personal finances in the next couple of Zoom classes. Stay tuned. And I'm going to just be kind of boiling it into, putting it at the end, doing some mentoring at the end. I think today I have to say I'm a little bit worn out. I stayed up late. I wasn't partying per se, but it was a little bit emotional yesterday and the day before too. So we're trying to kind of stay low today. I got a lot of things on my plate. I got my full focus planner here. I know I'm still going. I put some happy stickers on the front of the, I don't know if you can see that, it says think outside the box. Maybe it looks a little bit juvenile, but it's keeping me through. I want to make sure that wherever I look, I have things that are positive and happy and are cheering me on. I see some of you using your green screens. Hey, check it out, everybody. I really like that. If you live in a place, you don't want everybody to be looking at what's in your place, or maybe you have your bed behind you and you don't want to show your bed to everybody. Yeah, use your green screen. And a green screen, sometimes you don't even have to buy a separate thing to put behind you. You can just use the one right on Zoom, which is kind of fun. So this is a real piece of like a fabric thing that I have behind me, and then I'm projecting something on it. But Zoom has some pretty good photos, and you can put whatever photo you want. Tanny, I have to say, I love your cosmos there. I see it says what the ice captures. I really like that. That looks great. Okay, everyone. So what am I giving you today? I'm not going to give you an essential oil for cooking. I'm actually going to give you an essential oil for relaxation, because some of us are under intense stress right now, and we have that sensation that we just don't know, and our emotions are kind of going up and down. I'm actually going to ask you a quick question, and then I'm going to let you go, because I want you to kind of think about this as you're talking to your teammates. Let me see if I can pull up, oops, podcast. I want to get my notes here for a second. I'm not sharing with you. I'm just reading something real fast. Okay, so when you're talking to your teammates, or maybe even when you're looking at your own feelings and emotions, I'm going to type a few words in the chat, and I'm going to say them out loud, and I want you to answer me if you can. What are some of the feelings? So which of the following emotions have you felt as it relates to COVID-19? So number one, I would say, is denial. And denial is that feeling of, oh my gosh, how could this be happening? This isn't happening, right? Another one is anger. That feeling of, oh my gosh, I wish this wasn't happening to me, right? How about bargaining? If I do this, maybe sadness is another one. And then finally, acceptance. And I have to say, we've gone through them all. I want to allow you to feel what you feel, and to have the potential to be not only self-aware, but team aware, right? Want you to be taking sort of the pulse point of your team, because it's your job as a team leader to get the pulse point of your team, to allow your team to feel their feelings, but to also be able to kind of take that pulse from time to time. Don't feel like they have to feel what you feel, because they may not. And I'm just kind of looking in the chat, and I'm seeing Angel says sad. Tan says stressful. Bargaining can also be something to the effect of, why didn't I put away more money in the past? Why is my business so one-dimensional? Why didn't I diversify? Why didn't I diversify my investments, right? That sense of, I'm never going to do this again. In the future, I'm going to do it. If this ends, I'm going to do this in the future, right? Mulangi C. Cornea, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name inappropriately, says anxiety. Megan says disappointed. Danielle says surprised at the situation and anxiety, right? Luke says denial. Angel says disappointment. Danielle says nervous. Hannah says stressful and worrying. Danielle says scared. Siska says disbelief. Yep. Hannah says tired. Yeah, I mean it. You don't even expect to feel that tired, but you do. It's like you're working hard to keep everything together. We did so much before. I don't ever remember feeling this tired, but suddenly we're just on overdrive. Quinny says fear and worried as I'm in Singapore. My daughter is in the US. Yes. Quinny, tell me where your daughter is in the US. Yamini says grateful. That's a wonderful emotion. And thank you for adding that here. We can feel moments of gratitude. Sometimes we feel guilty at feeling grateful, that maybe that we're still healthy, maybe that we're still alive, but you have to take moments to feel grateful. Ella says scared. Lei Lang says sadness and concern. Antoinette's telling us something about tea tree, which I'm going to mention in a moment. Marianne says frustrated. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Z says sad. Sihan says glad I chose doTERRA 5 years ago. Amen, mister. I am so glad of that. Darren says emptiness. Yeah, Darren, that feeling of like, what are we filling ourselves with right now? And are we seeking out just television, or how are we filling our soul? And that's where I think meditation can become part of that. Maybe a regular prayer practice, reading books that kind of feel our mind. Darren, I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that when you're here, we kind of fill you up a little bit so that you can, go through your week. Carol says she feels grateful. She says, thank God I got hold of my On Guard because they run out. Quinny says Texas, and that her daughter's in Texas and Ohio. Okay. Thankfully, she's outside of a major city where they're, Rainey says solemn. Yeah. And Joan says she's decompressing every night. Thank you so much for being honest with me. I really appreciate that. Some of those emotions are hard for us to digest and to feel. All of them are valid, all of them. And you may find that you kind of go up and down as the days progress. I find that sometimes I have some grass outside my house, as you know, and I'll go just outside and lay down in the grass. And there's actually something that's called grounding, because I guess the earth has an electromagnetic field. And if you lay down right on the earth, you can actually kind of refresh your own electromagnetic field. That may not be possible for all of you. So if it is possible, it's something you could try today. It's pouring rain outside my house, so I'm not going outside to do that. But we are finally finding some good weather here. So that's going to be another big one. Antoinette says, found this time to grow on the inside, that God knows best, and love those around me, learn to appreciate them more. Yes. I hope all of you have a peaceful home situation. That's the one thing I'm praying for, peaceful home situation. Marianne says, opportunity to serve people and family. Siska says, to become more creative in this difficult situation. Yes, which is why I talked about the cooking. I know a lot of you are having cooking contests and cooking in your homes. We want to help you to feel that cooking can be, or any sort of creativity. You might be knitting or sewing. Angel says, thank God we have doTERRA. I'm so occupied with Zoom classes. That's terrific, Angel. Danielle says, grounding is so important, connects you to the earth. Okay, so great, you've tried it. Pamela says, intrigued as things evolve in the virtual world. Yeah. And then Carol says, happy Mother Nature is clearing the air pollution in this COVID-19 lockdown. Yeah, absolutely, Carol. Hannah says, improve with the cooking skills. And Danielle says, opportunity to find new ways to do new things. Yes. And sometimes we have the energy to do new things, but sometimes we don't. But I don't want you to feel guilty. Don't feel guilty if you can't do. Sometimes we get onto social media and people are cooking and exercising and doing dance videos and all kinds of things, and I look at them and I think, oh gee whiz, I'm trying to maintain a regular routine for myself and for my family. I'm trying to do what I feel most comfortable with. I will tell you one thing, and I know this is going to sound super shallow, but hey, let's throw it out there. Some of you know that I'm a mahjong player. And I've been playing a lot of mahjong with my family. So my kids and I play. I know, Sihan, you're laughing, but it's true. We've been playing. Sometimes we rope my husband in. Sometimes he won't play, so we play just the three of us. Yep, I love it. So I'm getting better at that. So when the time comes, maybe when I'm a little old lady and I have to like live in an old age home, I'll have some really good skills. I'll come to Asia and I'll sit in one of the mahjong settings, right? Yeah, right. Washing the tiles, exactly. Okay, my friends. I loved being with you today. It gave me a lot of energy, and I love being here. So Ambi says, yes. So yeah, we're going to play a game together. I can't bring my board, but if you have a board, I'll come with you. I have those tiny mini travel tiles, which I tried using once on a plane and thought, ugh, this is a disaster. For those of you who don't know what mahjong is, that's a whole other class. It's sort of like gin rummy with tiles. Today I'm giving away 2-piece touches. So 2-piece touches. Usually I give away something that has to do with your, with cooking or with the topic. But today my goal is for you to stay peaceful. I will tell you, the prizes finally arrived. They are in Singapore. I don't know what the shipping is between Singapore and other places. So if you don't get it right away, please know that it's my intention for you to get your prize. But hold on, we'll get you your prize eventually. I promise when all of this is done, you will get your prize. So our 2 winners today, hold on. Okay, so our 2 winners today, I'm sorry that took me a while because I want to make sure I get the spelling right, and I'm going to do better with the pronunciation. 2 winners of a peace touch today were Ella Kakra. Ella Kakra, you want a peace touch, and Mulaningsi Kurnia. Mulianingsi Kurnia. I hope I got that right. Thank you, everyone who was here. Find us on social media. Go get your little present that I have for you on the website. Go to ElenaYordan.com and get your little present because I have something for you. So, and I hope you go retrieve it because I'd love for you. And share with your friends. It's free to everybody, but definitely go get one yourselves. And thank you for being here. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you all back here on next Monday, right here. Bye-bye now.